Hi, I'm Ria Flanagan, and this is the Happiness Playbook Theories podcast. And today I'm really excited to bring on Kevin Palmieri, who is the host of Next Level University. And he's going to share with us some value for our community, which is what I'm all about doing. And so, yeah, please. And he has a powerful story to share with everyone, whatever you're willing to share. And then just self-improvement. He's going to tell us a little bit about that. So go ahead, Kevin, take it away. Tell us why you're here today.
Yeah, let's party. Anytime somebody says we're going to add value, it puts a little bit of pressure on me. So it'll be my goal to add value today.
Just fun, just fun.
Fun. Yeah, sometimes value is a byproduct of fun. So that's a good way to put it. The quickest version of my story that I think would resonate is I am somebody who I don't think anybody ever thought was really going to be successful. I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. I didn't know my dad until I didn't meet him until I was 27. So I didn't have him around. I grew up without a dad around. Decided pretty early in life I wasn't going to go to college. Just didn't know what I wanted to do, so it didn't make sense to pay someone to help me find out. And then I just ended up working a bunch of what felt like very dead-end jobs. I worked at a gas station. I cleaned bathrooms and floors at a hospital, truck driver, forklift operator, all these things. But eventually in my mid-20s, I achieved quote-unquote success. I had a high-paying job. My girlfriend at the time was a model. I was quite literally in the best shape ever, Ria, because I was getting ready to compete in a bodybuilding show. I mean, I was in magazine shape, new apartment, sports car, all the things. All the things. But I still ended up sitting on the edge of a bed contemplating suicide 2 years later. So that became and began the journey of self-improvement for me because in something I've heard you say, happiness is an inside job. I had all the external stuff, but I didn't understand that external circumstances do not fix internal voids. And that became the journey for me of I've worked really hard on my body and I look really good, but I've never really felt good. So what is that process going to entail? And then I ended up leaving my job in 2018. I have been in the self-improvement, podcasting, coaching, speaking, entrepreneur space since 2018.
That's congrats. I mean, it's really, yeah, people need it. So I'm glad you're here.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I really, as a counselor, I really do work with that, right? It's like, what's underneath? What is happening underneath all that? Because all that external stuff, just, you can't take it with you. It doesn't last. It's fleeting, right? You buy the new car, you bought the house, and then it's like, okay, well, now it's just a car and a house, It's like, what's going on underneath? And I think the father piece that you brought up is powerful because, oh my goodness, like I also didn't have a father around. So I really relate to that and how that can create some voids in someone.
Yeah. Well, somebody asked me, they said, why did you think that the money and the car and the partner and everything would make you happy? And I said, because that was the stuff that I felt didn't make me happy when I was younger. That was the stuff that I was missing that would have brought me happiness. I didn't realize that even if I had that, I would have had something else. There would have been something else I would have been working through. And this is always something I want to say because I don't ever want somebody to hear my story, think I'm super successful, and then I don't deal with anything. I've recently uncovered within the last 6 months that one of the deep fears, one of the core fears that I have is disappointing others, especially men.
Yeah.
This, for me, I feel like you and I are going to love each other. I feel 10 out of 10 confident. When I'm interviewed by men, especially when it comes to business, that is such a hard outside of my comfort zone thing because I'm so afraid I'm going to get to the end and they're going to say, hey, Kev, that wasn't really what we were looking for. We're not going to be able to do that episode. So that's still something that I'm working through day to day because, yes, I have a successful podcast and a successful business, but again, that doesn't fix that stuff. Can I pay the bills? Yes, and that's great. Circumstantially, amazing. But I still have a lot of internal work to do, and that's something that I'm committed to doing essentially every day.
And I love that you're saying that too, because success is not like, I really don't think of it as this sort of ending, right? It's so much about like the daily things that you're doing and how you're being in the world. And you said something about this internal work. I wrote a book about happiness. It doesn't mean that I'm happy all the time, right? And that's not real. And I think, understanding that, but there are choices we can make to increase and make it an intention, right? And within, right? Now, it's not about these external things.
Yeah.
But you really talked about that male figure, and I can relate to that. I sort of have a different thing where it's about like male authority. I just not good. And I had a really reparative mentor who was a male, and actually a couple now, and that's been really healing for me. Having these positive male influences that were supportive, that were all the things that I really didn't have around. Raised by a single mom, so. When you talk about that, what is the belief? Are you willing to sort of go a little deep with me for a moment?
Oh,
what is the belief about yourself that maybe you have, right? And it could be very subconscious, but typically if it's people pleasing, especially the male, right? And it always links back, I find, back to our childhood, because that's where the beliefs were formed initially, right? So I know when I didn't have my father, I thought, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable. So I was really looking for love, right? Just like you were looking for success in all the wrong places, and I really get that it's an inside job. So was there a belief about yourself that you can pinpoint around these male figures that is it I'm not good enough, or, I'm not lovable, or is around those lines that could be part of that not wanting to be disapproved of?
Yeah, I think it's defective. I think I am defective. I am broken. And here's the thing. And this is my belief, I'm not saying this is true, but the thing that will connect you and I the most will be my authenticity, my vulnerability, and my transparency. That doesn't necessarily work with all men. Some men that I talk to, they're not it's like, nah, we're not going to go there. Other men, Ria, I've been on podcasts where one of the most transformative moments of my life, I was on a podcast with a gentleman, and he said, and he did this live. He said, I have to apologize to you. And I said, in my mind, immediately, defective, I've messed up, we're going to stop the interview, something's going on. And he said, when I was doing research on you, I assumed that you were going to be a bodybuilding, motivational bro. And he said, there's so much more to you. There's so much more depth to you, your vulnerability. And I started crying on this interview, because I said, that's how I know that's the thing that I feel like I'm missing, because when I'm given it, I almost can't even handle it. So I think it's defective. And the problem is, for 27 years of my life, anytime I achieved a result, not even success, I just thought that I got luckier more often than other people. I never stated that I'm going to get good at something, prove to myself that I'm capable of doing it, and then self-assign that as, yeah, you said you were going to do it, and then you did it. It was always, I hit a home run. Yeah, I must have got lucky. I was really good at baseball. I just thought I was luckier than everybody else. I dated very attractive women. I always thought, they must see something in me that I don't see in myself, or maybe they're struggling with something and they're coping with me through it. It was never my success. It was always luck.
So it's receiving this. It's receiving that you're right. If you don't believe that you're enough, or that, you're lovable, or whatever it is,
yep,
then you can't receive it, even if it's all around you. And so there's this piece, right? Is consciously we can know that, but it's so ingrained subconsciously. I do inner child work in my empowerment workshop, which has that post-induction therapy by Pia Melody, which has sort of that hypnotic subconscious piece, because we do a whole psychodrama thing. But really getting back to those roots and starting to change that narrative. Like, have you ever done inner child work?
Yes, probably not as much as I could, but I've done a good amount in the past.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally up to you, but would you be willing to do just a little, like I used to lecture at the Meadows about inner child work, and I would do a little experiential. Would you be willing to just do that with me? Because it sounds like you're down for healing and vulnerability and all that.
That's what I told you in the beginning. I'm here to add value. Whatever value looks like, I'm down to ride. Let's do it.
Well, I really appreciate, just as a male in the world, your willingness, right, to do that, because raising a son and, all those things, so don't want him to shut down emotionally or have to act like he's toughing it out, or any of that old stuff that's just not helpful.
Yeah.
So you're a great example of that. So thank you. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so here's what I do a lot with clients, and it's experiential that anyone out there can do, and it's something that if it hits your heart, right, it means that this is valuable for you. So if you could close your eyes for a moment and picture a time, usually it's, earliest sort of memories, 5, 4, 3, maybe 6, just what you look like. First of all, what did you look like? What were you wearing? What was your hair like? Just get a visual of little you. And once you have that, can you just share that with me?
What visual of little me?
Yeah. What is he wearing? And what is Lily wearing, when you were, how old are you, do you think?
Whatever elementary school is, whatever age that is.
Okay. Okay. So like 6 or 7, maybe 6.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what are you wearing?
I would say I was little. I was small. A little jeans and a red long sleeve shirt.
Very cute.
Mhm.
Any type of sneakers?
Probably like white Reebok sneakers.
All right. Rocking the Reebok. And then what was your hair like?
Very fluffy. I have very thick hair, so very fluffy.
That's good for now, right?
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. And my son is actually 7 right now. So I can like so picture you like
Mhm.
little guy rocking the white Reebok. And so now I just want you to, in your adult body, right? Where is he? We're gonna go talk to him for a second. So where would he be? Like, is he on the way to school, or he's somewhere maybe alone? Like, but just, he's open to this, because he's a kid, right? Kids are a little more open to this kind of thing. So you're gonna go up to him and you're gonna just introduce yourself as, hey, I'm older you, I am adult you, and I made it, and I'm just here to be with you in those moments that you needed someone, because I can do that now. I couldn't do it then, but I want you to know that we make it and that I love you and you are so precious. So really picture first just going up to him and telling, like, I had this ability to like go through time, right? This magic portal in this moment to be with you.
Okay.
And so maybe it's a time where he is lonely or he is like wanting that guidance, right? And so where would he be? Where is he?
Sitting outside of school.
Okay, so you're gonna come up and just look how cute he is rocking those Reeboks, and you're just gonna be like, hey man, I'm adult you. I just came through this time portal. This is new cool thing I can do. I learned in my podcast. And I'm just here to just love on you and be your best friend and love you and just let you know how precious you are, because I know, because I was you. I know how it felt. I was there. And now, and I didn't have that then, but now I can give you this. I can be with you when those feelings come up. And I want you to know that whenever you're feeling that loneliness, that you're not good enough, that you're not lovable, I'm going to be right here to remind you that you are all those, because you are so, so precious. So can you picture that? I want you to just be with it for a moment. See, like, what does his face do when you tell him?
He starts to cry.
Yeah. Okay, so then, right, I have a kid. What are you going to do? Hey, I'm right here. You want a hug, buddy? I'm right here. Right? So now, does he want a hug? Is he willing to get a hug from himself, his older?
Yeah,
So,
as weird as it is, he'd like to get a hug from future self.
of course, because now you're his best friend. So now I want to take your right hand and just like you're hugging yourself, you're going to put it underneath your left arm where your heart is, like the side of your heart. And then with your left arm, you're going to wrap around him, but wrap around and like your own shoulder, right? And yeah, there you go. And now you're just going to hold him and just now drop your head down to your heart and just let your tongue drop and just relax into that and just be with him. And you're just going to nurture and affirm that you are precious, you are enough, you are lovable. I got you. You're not alone anymore. I got you. And I'm never going to leave you, because now I can do this. I couldn't do it then, and it was so hard. But now I'm going to be what you needed. In the moments when this comes up, I'm going to be right here. Whenever you feel lonely, whenever, I'm going to remind you that you are so precious, lovable, amazing, a miracle. You give back to the world, right? From this pain that you went through, you give back and help others. You are so important. And then just drop your head into it if you can, like you're looking into your heart and he's like in your heart and you're just holding him, and breathe. And you can even rock a little bit, right? It's just a very nurturing, reparative inner child work. We're just going in, we're getting him, we're going, you are so important. I love you so much. And you don't have to feel like this anymore. Not for one more day or one more minute, because I'm going to be right here because I know that you needed this, that you deserve this. And now I can give it to you, right? It's very empowering, right? That it's you giving it to you. It's not something else. That it's actually right here, right now. That you're safe, that you're loved, that you're enough. And just breathe into that. And how is he? Is he accepting this? Is he happy? What does his face look like? Is he
He's very happy.
so precious? And this is something that you can do, right? Every day, right? Even maybe have a little picture of him, right? And then, stay with it as long, right, as you need, and as long until you can feel the calm, right? Until you can feel the safety and the love, right? And letting it in, right? Just letting him really receive. Because we all need that. Love is the most healing and powerful emotion. And I just met you, but I could do this with you because it's like you are so precious, just like everyone, just like I am, just like everybody out there is. It's just that things happen in our lives because we don't live in a world without war, right? And without violence. Things happen to all of us that make us feel those ways, right? That we're not good enough or broken. And that is just the lies. And we don't have to be in the lies anymore because what we need is love. And this is just a simple exercise, right? That you can rewind and you can watch this again and you can do it at home. You could also grab a pillow, right, off your couch, your bed, and you can hold it and just rock and just, right? It's a really powerful thing. And I recommend when we have these kind of wounds to do it, right, as a daily practice. And it's in my book and it's something that, So one more thing, and I know you're wearing a hat and stuff, so maybe you'll do it later, but this is a good one too, is one hand on the forehead, one at the nape of the neck, and then just like laying back and kind of just breathing into that. It'll really calm the brain because it's that developmental stage when maybe we weren't held that much, or, not that our parent didn't love us, but maybe they were working or a single parent and we needed that. So we can do some of these things. It's very reparative. So just checking in. I know that can be a deep exercise. How are you feeling? How was that for you? Can you share?
It was wonderful. Yeah, it felt really, anytime tears, it doesn't matter whether you want them to happen or not. They just happen. Something is happening. So I feel really good.
Yeah, and I couldn't even see the tears through the video, but thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
And one thing to think of too is when we're having, right, when we're feeling emotions, when we're having some pain, right, the gift is healing, growth, and awareness. So a lot of times people will numb out. They don't want to feel the pain. It makes sense. And sometimes we numb out by trying to achieve, or right, or in the hamster wheel of, buying a bigger car, a bigger house, a bigger this, right? But when we're actually just with the emotion and we allow it to give us the gift of healing, growth, and awareness, then when you come back and do this again, you won't need to do it as long, right? But again, keep doing it because you're healing years and years of a belief system.
Yeah. I appreciate you taking me through that.
Yeah, and thank you. I think it's valuable for everyone out there because I don't even know, right? That doesn't have something, right, that they're working on or working to heal or trying to figure out, or maybe they're stuffing it because they're just on autopilot going through the world trying to survive, right?
Of course.
And so, such great work. So, and just in your journey, and you're so amazing with everything. Like, what are some things that have been helpful that have helped you keep doing what you're doing?
Man, I would say one's connecting with the why. I didn't start this to be successful. I didn't start this to make money. I genuinely started this to be the type of person that I needed when I was struggling the most. And that's why I try to show up. There's no way I wasn't going to do that. I don't care if there's one person watching or 10 million people watching. That's what the version of me needed. That's what the version of me that I needed would have done. So that's the thing that keeps me going. And that's the thing that it facilitates the growth and the self-awareness and the looking at the traumas and looking at the triggers. That's a big thing. And then the other thing too, Ria, that's been very helpful for me is I used to think that I had to have massive goals. But when I started setting smaller goals, I started feeling like I was making more progress, and my self-trust and my self-worth and my self-belief and all of that. So that's something that I always tell people. I think one of the worst quotes ever of all time is, if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. I think being a human being is really scary. And the last thing you want is the thing that you aspire for to make you want to turn around and run away. So that's been really, really big for me. And then I don't know, this might not resonate with everyone, but it's worked really well for me and our community in general, is habit tracking. I wake up and I feel very intentional because I have a list of things. I know exactly what I should be doing if I want to grow, or what I can be doing if I want to grow every day. I feel guided in that. And as somebody who didn't really know what to do, just making sure that I have my habits written out and tracking them every day, that is something that is just, it's been super helpful for me.
Yeah, that is, and it's something that, these little, like, and again, my book is all about these daily practices that you can incorporate for whatever you need and what works for you. And I have like 42 of them, but like, that is, I'm right on board with you, right? It's these simple things that you can do, that you can add to your life, that are game changers, because we feel good. There's like, we actually get, like, I think, is it dopamine, right? When we achieve something, right? So if we have all these things and then we're achieving them throughout the day, we're actually like improving our mood.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if they're small, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to the gym for 4 hours a day. You got to go to the gym once, and then you can go the second time, but you can't go to the gym for the fifth time if you don't go for the first time. But I understand progress. If you think you should be making more than you are, you don't give yourself credit for the progress you're actually making. And that's where that can get really wonky.
That is absolutely, you're right onto that. I think as you were talking about that, I was also thinking about how when you're slowing down, you're doing smaller things, you're going, yeah, I did it. You're encouraging yourself, right? It's a way to encourage and notice progress, track progress, and also be more in the moment. Because I really think there's something about being, like, I was just with you. When I was doing that exercise with you, nothing else was in my mind. I was fully with, could you feel the engagement?
For sure.
Yeah. And I also, right? Like, even though I couldn't see the tears, I could feel that you were in it, as where if someone was like, yeah, okay, Ria did it. Like, you were in the moment, you were engaged. And so was I. And so these real connective moments are so much about what we're here to do, right? To be in the moment. When I'm in the moment with my daughter, who's, turning 4, and she's adorable, and we're just coloring, or we're laughing, or, we're just being together. I don't have to do, a million cartwheels to make her happy, right? It's just being with her. And so when we're with each other, and we're present even in our day, and we're present in our bodies, right? We're more in our purpose, because you're more in connection with the body, the mind, the emotions, other people. And it's not all about me, right? It's about others. It's about helping others. It's about all of us, right? Being connected. And so when we're wounded, when we're hurt, when we've had pain, we disconnect. We disconnect from our bodies. We disconnect from our purpose, right? We get lost. And so healing, there's so much connection in healing, or healing and connection. Yeah.
It's the best. I just think it's one of those hard things where it kind of sucks at times. And I try to be very honest about that, because I don't know, I'd rather somebody have the accurate expectation going into something, and it maybe suck less than you think, than you think, oh yeah, no, I'm going to grow today, it's going to be wonderful. And then you get hit in the face with growth and you realize, that was a little bit different than I expected. But but it is deeply worth it, and it is extremely meaningful. You are the vessel with which you will live this entire life, this weird thing that we do. And at the end of the day, I think if you improve you, and improve means becoming aware and working on traumas and triggers and whatever improving to you means, I believe you can improve everything around you. It just takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, I believe that. So if you were to say, what's your mission? I'd be like, well, peace on earth. I was a little kid going on peace marches with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why wouldn't we have peace? Like, I don't get that. Why are we fighting ourselves? You know?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me. So if everybody did this work, maybe we would have peace on earth.
We'd have more.
Yeah.
We'd have more for sure. Hurt people hurt people. I don't think fulfilled people hurt people. I think fulfilled people try to heal people, not hurt people.
Absolutely. In every conversation, I try to just bring joy. And also that brings joy for me, right? And in even connection, you're bringing some joy. So when you brought
fulfilling too, that's the other thing. Fulfillment is such a weird, strange thing. I think of fulfillment as a fuel that burns really, really cool for a long period of time, where other, maybe joy or pleasure, whatever it is, motivation, inspiration, they burn really hot, but they burn quickly. Fulfillment, something. The reason I get to do so many podcast episodes and I get to talk so much is because it fulfills me more than someone else. So for me, it's not as hard. Still hard, but I could do 10 of these back to back because that's what fulfills me. Where somebody else could write 500 pages of a book today and I would be on the floor just, oh my goodness, I'm done. It's just different things that fulfill different people.
Right. And you find that, right? That purpose, that thing that fulfills you through being connected to your body, right? Not going outside to try to get that pleasure, that, that hit, right? Of, oh, I got the A, I got the bonus, I got the house, right? That's a hit. That could be addictive, actually. So, people can get lost in all kinds of process addictions. So it's really noticing that, hey, to find out what really fulfills me, I need to be present in my body. And doing those exercises that heal the parts that hurt, that make us not want to be present, right? That is really going to pull you into your passion and your purpose and what really does bring you fulfillment. And again, something, you sharing your story, something really bad happened and then the light came for you.
Yes.
So
pain is a very deep necessity. It's I don't know if it has to work that way. You probably know that better than I, but we used to interview a lot of people. And I remember the first couple people we interviewed, I said, what an incredible story. We'll probably never ever hear something with so much adversity until the next week. And the guest had their own unique version of adversity and overcoming and then delivering. And then the next week and the next week. And I realized that I believe now more than ever that your adversity can become your advantage. It doesn't always. I'm sure it takes a certain recipe and a certain amount of ingredients to line up, but that's kind of what I'm doing now. Yeah, I'm trying to help people avoid the pain that I went through by being the type of person I needed. And that's become my purpose. And my purpose is not to be a podcaster. My purpose, that's the vehicle. That's how we deliver the purpose. Podcasting wasn't even around when I was born. It wasn't a thing. But through my voice and through speaking and whatever it is, that's the vehicle.
Thank you so much for being on here today. Anybody out there that is, going through a dark time, going through adversity, remember that there are gifts in there that you can't see right now, but it's going to bring you learning, growth, awareness. My mistakes, my hard times, all of them have taught me so much.
For sure.
So please know that there's a light on the other side. Thank you so much, and Kevin, for being here. And I'd love to meet with you again. So thank you. I know you got to go.
I appreciate you. You're wonderful, Ria. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing. It was truly my pleasure to be here with you today.
It was great. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop. Thank you, everybody. Happiness Playbook Series, Mondays at 5. I'll see you then.